5 years ago, I launched Tribe Network to solve a problem. I saw a lot of talented people being underserved, overlooked, and underestimated. I remember feeling frustrated, but many of us came together and we turned that frustration into a movement. Let's take a moment to reflect on the last 5 years. Our community has grown a lot since we started in 2020. Today, we're over 2,000 members strong. We have over 40 nationalities around the world represented. We've invested over $1 million into entrepreneurs, creatives, and community leaders. We've also helped them raise millions and millions of dollars in capital. It's been a wild ride. I've also grown and learned a lot throughout the last 5 years. I was 24 when we started, and I'm now 28. I want to take a moment to reflect with you all, to share a little bit from my perspective what the last 5 years have been like, to discuss where we are today, and to look forward to the future. So it all starts with a problem. The problem in this case was the lack of inclusion and opportunity for racialized and other minority entrepreneurs within the ecosystem in Canada. The moment that made the issue of inclusion important or feel urgent to me was when I had a chance to work with Senator Colin Deacon in the Senate of Canada. I worked with him for about 6 or 7 months, and together with Abacus data, we actually surveyed entrepreneurs across the country. And, I knew there was a problem, but in those months of working with other Black community organizations across Canada, meeting with Black community leaders, gathering the data that made it so undeniably clear that there was an issue, there was a problem, and there needed to be more attention towards how we support Black entrepreneurs and how we create pathways for Black entrepreneurs. So when we got the data and when we had a chance to analyze that data, throughout that process, more and more my instinct was I need to go on the outside of this bubble or this space being the Senate. I need to go outside of this space, and I need to go create that solution that can create more opportunities and identify talents, serve that talent, and support them on their journey to be great entrepreneurs. Honestly, this journey of starting Tribe has made me think about my younger self, because I was a founder and an entrepreneur, and I owned a business in the tech space, and I wanted to grow that business across Canada. That Alfred didn't feel included either. I struggled to feel a sense of belonging. I struggled to get the support that I was looking for, that I needed at that time. And so throughout this journey, I think in reflection, I am building a solution. I'm building an experience that would have helped the younger version of myself. So today we support our entrepreneurs through mentorship, through coaching. We create experiences for these entrepreneurs. We will create opportunities outside of Nova Scotia or Atlantic Canada. We'll take entrepreneurs to Montreal, to Toronto. We'll create experiences where they can engage with other founders across Canada, investors, incubators, accelerators, potential clients, customers. We try our best to create a sense of community for our members. But we could only get there from actually listening to the needs of the community. From the ground up was a report we pulled together within the first year of launching Tribe. We visited entrepreneurs in different provinces in Canada, and we brought them together to ask them about the challenges that they've experienced and the type of supports or programming they wanted to receive to support them on their entrepreneurship journey. And so this gave our team a lot of the information that we needed to know how to effectively serve these entrepreneurs in Canada. I approach this like I'm approaching any business or problem, which is, what are we solving for? And so before you know what you're solving for, you have to know about the problems of your customer, in this case, our members. And so by creating those spaces where they could share their insight and feedback on financial literacy, on mentoring and coaching, on access to capital, these discussions really brought out insights that allowed our team to best serve our members. Now, the very interesting thing that I've learned is the difference between being a founder and being a CEO. I started off at Tribe as the founder. I spent probably 1 year bringing this idea to life. I worked on it in silence for months before launching it in public in 2021. And I remember the feeling to turn that website live, the feeling of being afraid, not knowing how people would perceive me in, going after this cause. It was a very vulnerable time, I remember. And, I'm so grateful because I did have people around me who pushed me to do this, who believed in me, and who thought that this is something that needed to exist in the real world. I'm going to share the difference between the founder and the CEO roles because I experienced this and I didn't know I was going to experience this until we were actually in it. So as the founder, you are coming up with the vision, right? You have insights on this problem that no one else has because you're probably thinking about this problem more than anyone else. If you want to do something great, if you want to bring something unique to the world, you have to be deep in whatever you're solving. You have to be thinking about it, breathing about it, talking to anybody and everybody about it. And you need unique insights in order to stand out from the rest. And so I would say those first 2 years, I was interviewing people almost through any conversation, any and every conversation I had, whether you were my direct target customer or whether you were an affiliate member or potential partner or potential funder. Every conversation that I had in those 2 years were almost through the lens of the problem that I was fixated on. You have to set the vision. You have to come up with ideas that actually may be solutions to this problem. And then you have to test, you have to actually experiment to see what works and what sticks. Some things won't stick, others will, and you'll know it when they do. You'll need to pivot many times along the way. And really, in the early stage, you're just bringing ideas to life. You know about the problem you're solving, and now it's about executing on solutions to that. You're setting the values of your organization. And this often leads to setting the culture. So before you bring people on, what are the principles that you're going to hold true and you're going to hold everyone else accountable to? That is so key in the early stage of being a founder. In the early days, you have to be the engine. You are the engine. Okay. Whether you're selling to a potential investor, someone who's going to donate to your cause, someone who's going to invest in your cause, you have to sell them on what you're doing. Okay. They don't know what you know. And so in the early stage, I think that you really have to play the role of storyteller. How do you get people excited about what you're solving for? Do they know that it's working? Do they know the potential that you will have when you unlock that potential of that thing? Now, here's how all of that is different from the CEO role. In the CEO role, you are strategizing. It's no longer about ideas or throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks and then pivoting from that or experimenting. As CEO, you are now the chief strategy officer. You're now hiring people. You are managing those people. You're setting clear expectations for those people in what their day-to-day outcomes are. You're then building a team of people that have to work together. You have to motivate them in many ways. And it's no longer you as the founder executing your ideas. It's you communicating to your team the solutions and coming to agreement on how you will approach solving the problems that your customers are facing. You're now delegating to other people to lead aspects of this organization. And so delegation is such a key thing as a CEO because you can't do it all. You have to delegate to others who have more expertise than you to lead whatever it is that they're doing. You're also building board and investor relations. You're managing your board. You have, board of directors bring governance. And so now you're managing senior people above you, right? You have to learn how to manage above. You have to learn how to manage below. And so that is a key component and a key lesson that I learned as well in how you run an effective organization as the CEO. There were many moments over the past 5 years where I did not know what to do. From the outside looking in, I think a lot of people think it's easy and that you have it all figured out. But the truth is, I did not have it all figured out. I did my best and I brought ideas to life and I brought people together to solve problems and to create opportunities, but I didn't have it all right. I messed up a few times, and learning how to work with others when you're learning and learning how to lead others when you're learning is a very, very challenging task for a leader. I'm actually quite impressed about our community growth over the past 5 years. We're now at 2,000 members across the world. There was a moment in December where we had our team Christmas party and everyone was having a great time. We had dinner, we played games, we listened to music, we gave awards. It was such a good time. And I remember at the end of the night, we went around the room and people shared a reflection of their year. And that was one of the first times, I think that was the only time I've gotten emotional around my team. And it's hard to put it into words what going through uh, COVID as a leader was like, bringing ideas to life in a very sensitive environment, going up against barriers while you're doing something innovative, being young as a founder and CEO and not having the experience that maybe people would expect or want from a young founder. It was real emotional because I had a moment to just look around me and see the people that made up Tribe today. It's not just me anymore. It's 15 others, 30 others when you count the board, and hundreds when you count the facilitators and the mentors and the coaches. And then it's into the thousands when you count everybody, including our students, our entrepreneurs, the professionals, the investors, our partners. It's not just me anymore. And I had a moment of gratitude that we're doing it. We are still facing many barriers and we're solving a lot of the problems that create those barriers, but every now and then you got to take a moment to have deep gratitude and witness the progress that you're making. One of my proud moments in bringing Tribe to life was in our third year. We had made a connection. One of our founders, Jonah Chininga, he's the founder and CEO of Wovio. We connected him to an investor out of Toronto. BKR and Lease, the team reached out to me and were asking about potential founders on the east coast of Canada that they could pursue investment in. I connected Lease and Jonah, not knowing what would come out of that introduction. 6 months later, Lease calls me and says, "Thank you for that introduction to the team at Wovio and Jonah, and that they have made an investment. They've decided to lead an investment into Wovio." And that was one of the moments where I realized the power of the network. And, even though we didn't make that cash investment or equity investment into Wovio, we were able to facilitate it. And to me, that is the network really working, is when when our team doesn't have to do everything for a member, but the network is able to bring value to members, sometimes in ways we can't bring value to the members. It's been a beautiful journey, and I'm so proud of the team and the community that we've built. It's growing stronger. I know it, I feel it, I see it every day. We see it every day. The growth of our entrepreneurs, the growth of our students, the growth of the professionals in our network. We're now seeing more investors be created in Canada, solving problems and investing in Black entrepreneurs and racialized entrepreneurs, Indigenous entrepreneurs, newcomers. It's a beautiful thing. And we're just so proud to play a small role in how the ecosystem is developing in Canada. I can tell you what's next, and it's expansion. We want to be across Canada. We want to be engaging with entrepreneurs, students, professionals, investors across the country. And, we have a network that's global. And so we want to use that to our advantage in Canada, and we want to make connections. We want to serve entrepreneurs. We want to create new opportunities for everyone who's in our community. We'll be partnering a lot with universities over the next several months. We've been having discussions with many across the country, and we see students as a great introduction to Tribe, starting at the high school level and then working our way into universities and campuses across the country. We'll be announcing some partnerships very soon on what we're doing with post-secondary institutions. There's a lot of great talent on campus, and so we wanna tap into that. We want to be able to serve our members earlier and ensure that we can share some of the resources that they'll need on their career journey, their entrepreneurship journey, whatever it is they want to do. We want to engage with them sooner and share resources to them to help them along the journey. The bigger vision for Tribe is to be a global network, right? That's what we're doing. We have members around the world right now, and we want to be able to have a physical presence in other countries as well. Outside of Canada, we want to go to Africa, we want to be in South America, we want to be in Asia, Europe. To have a presence everywhere would be an incredible, I believe, benefit to our network. The diversity in that will be rich and will serve our members well. Right now, the partnerships that we're looking for are ones that really, investors, government agencies who believe in the network that we're building, who want to invest in it, who want to build capacity in our members to be entrepreneurs, to be high skilled workers. Those are the types of people we want to work with. We want to work with people who believe in our membership. We don't want to have to convince you that we have talent. We don't want to have to convince you that this talent can solve problems and fill gaps and create opportunities in the world. Our members are the ones who will do the convincing because they are very talented and they have a lot to bring to Canada and to the world. Quite frankly, we want to work with partners that believe in us and that know how worthy our members are of this. What excites me about the next chapter is increasing capacity, increasing our team's capacity and serving our members, both from a human capital perspective. We'll be hiring people over the next few months, and we're also fundraising. We're raising a $20 million venture fund, and that in itself is a whole nother beast to tackle. It's a beautiful thing that we're doing, working with the team on the venture side, Philip, Xavier. We're going to be raising a $20 million venture fund to invest in racialized tech founders across the country. And so that's an exciting thing because that will allow us to invest equity capital into our entrepreneurs. Right now we leverage programs that allow us to provide grants from whether it's $500 to $5,000 to $50,000. And this venture fund will really allow us to invest up to $1 million into an entrepreneur. And so we really hope that once that gets up and running, we'll be providing more access to capital to underserved entrepreneurs in Canada. There's so much more to come. We are just getting started. If you've been with us since the launch of Tribe Network in 2021, thank you. If you've come along the journey and if you've seen us do what we're doing and if you've joined us, thank you too. We really appreciate the support and the help along the way from everyone who's been involved. So there's so much that we've been able to accomplish since then. And I have to give a shout out to the early ones, the ones that helped that big lift. You all helped the momentum in the early days. So you all deserve your flowers too. You know who you are. So many of you who've supported us along the way. So if you've been a part of this journey, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for believing in me, believing in Tribe, and following our journey. We're just getting started, and so we hope that you continue to join us on this journey as we serve our community. Hopefully, we'll see you soon. Peace.